Good morning. It is an honor to be here. It is an honor to be with you today, and it is really an honor to speak after the panel talking about America's 250th birthday. Because next year, we are excited to celebrate not just the birth of America, but the birth date of the Declaration of Independence. And in that document, our founders made it very clear where our rights come from, what's the purpose of government, and where does government get its power. And it said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by
their
Creator with certain inalienable rights, and these rights include life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To protect these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. So our rights come from God. Government is instituted to protect our rights. And government gets its power from the consent of the governed. That's us, right? We're the governed. But how well are we doing at stewarding that influence? This November, and then in next November, there's going to be an election that's called a midterm or an off-year election. And on average, only 38% of voters, registered voters, will participate in that election. The midterms are super and critical, but are we being a good steward of choosing who governs us? There's another election that happens even before that. It's called the primary. It's going to start happening pretty soon next year. Actually, the first filing date is in less than a month to get ready for 2026. And you might be surprised to know that only 20% of registered voters typically participate in the primary election. But did you know, in California, you probably did, that 80 to 90% of legislators, both at the federal level and at the state level, are actually determined or chosen during the party primary because of the way that districts are drawn. The whole reason Prop 50 is on the ballot is they're trying to change so that they can get more Democratic seats, right? So the primary is really important, especially if you live in a district that's Republican, to actually get a conservative candidate elected. But there are other elections that happen across the year, a lot of times, and I think they're even more important because they are who chooses who runs your city and your school board. Those are local and school board elections. And you won't be surprised to learn that even fewer people participate. But did you know that on average, it's just 6% of registered voters who participate in these elections? And it's super important. So do you know who typically participates in these elections? The activists, the staff, the teachers' unions. But do you know who doesn't participate? The church, parents,